नाही त्यापेक्षा लग्न का त्याला दिवशी तुला मंगळवार म्हटलं काय मला पाहिजे
Okay. We are just starting, okay? Good morning, one and all. On behalf of Shakespeare Society of Central India and the collaborating colleges, I, Dr. Usha Sakure, accord a warm welcome to all the dear participants. As we stand on the threshold of the ninth day of our Shakespeare certificate course, I am filled with both pride and gratitude for the journey we have embarked upon together. Friends, throughout this course, guided by our esteemed resource persons, we have delved into the rich tapestry of Shakespearean literature, exploring topics that have ignited our intellect and kindled our passion for the bard's words. I am immensely pleased by the success of our course so far and deeply moved by the enthusiasm and dedication exhibited by our participants. Your thirst for knowledge and your commitment to learning have been truly inspiring, reaffirming our shared goal of enlightenment and enrichment through the study of Shakespeare. As we look ahead today for today's session, I am delighted to introduce yet another luminary in the field whose insights and expertise are sure to captivate and enlighten us further. Together, let us continue this journey of exploration and discovery as we celebrate the culmination of our course tomorrow with yet another interesting session. Friends, today we have the honor of introducing a luminary personality who epitomizes versatility in every aspect of his life. Recently retired as the head of Department of Vocational Studies at Dharampeth College, he has left an indelible mark on the institution and the lives of countless students. From the outset, his aim was clear to become a beacon of knowledge and guidance as a teacher, and the goal he not only achieved but surpassed in many ways with flying colors. Recipient of the prestigious Best Teacher Award in 2010, his dedication to education is unparalleled. What sets him apart is his seamless transition from the technical realm into the literary field, demonstrating his boundless intellectual curiosity and adaptability. Beyond academia, he is a stalwart social activist, widely recognized for his contributions to various social causes. With 15 research papers to his credit, his scholarly pursuits have encouraged and enriched academic discourses and inspired future generations. Yet, amidst his myriad accomplishments, his passion for Shakespeare shines brightest. Today, we eagerly anticipate his enlightening discourse on contemporary relevance of Shakespearean themes and characters, which is a testament to his enduring love for the bard and his profound understanding of literature. So, without wasting much time, I welcome and invite Dr. Riley sir for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Dr. Sakure, for that wonderful introduction. I'm enlightened. I'm going to share a PowerPoint. So,
गाणे चालत नाही गाणं चालत नाही त्यांना मांडलं ते मांडलं तर तिथं कसं दाखवणार आहे ह्याच्यात कसं दाखवणार आहे ऑनलाईन मध्ये कसं दाखवते వస్తుంది ఇలా కోల్తా నెట్ క్యాప్చర్ అది ఇక్కడ ఫామ్లో దొరుకుతుంది ఇంటర్నెట్లో గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ స్టేట్ చేసుకున్నాం ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్స్ లాగా
Madam, sharing.
What happened, sir?
I want to share
Sharing
the
option. Yeah, it is at the end, at the bottom. Just
Yes, here, no, this CC.
yes.
No, not CC. This.
Not CC. Share screen. That option is there. Share screen.
Share screen.
Or if you mail me the PPT, even I can do it from here. You do that?
Just because I present now.
Yeah, present now.
Yeah, so that. Yes, it will come. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
make it make it a big screen. So
Big screen. Okay.
go at the beginning
Yeah.
of the slide and then click it. It will become this.
Now
And
is it visible, madam?
Go to slideshow. Go to slideshow. Make it
go to
full
slideshow. Huh. If you are if you are comfortable with it, otherwise leave it.
No, I've gone to slideshow from
slideshow
current-
right on top.
Right on top, and it says from the beginning. So if
Yes,
you
yes.
click it there, so it becomes
from colored slide. Yes. Okay.
yes.
The slideshow is right on top next to animation. Just click on that and it'll come full screen.
Just a minute, madam. Slideshow on the right hand top.
Yes, left hand, I think. Or else leave it, sir.
Huh?
Leave it. You carry on like this. No problem.
Okay. So, friends, good morning. And am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes.
Please carry on.
Yeah, as introduced by Dr. Sakure, Shakespeare is eternal. Right from the 16th century till today, we find ourselves in every play of Shakespeare. And that's why, let us see, Shakespeare's characters, when we talk of the characters of each play, they emerge from the texture of the society. The characters are well woven into the social structure. And different characters, they reflect the true picture of human life, various aspects of human life, the behavioral pattern, the interaction, interrelationship, the efforts of some characters to become better, the efforts of some characters to revenge, etc. Now, what was true in those times is true even today. It appears that Shakespeare has returned for humanity, not just for a typical time period, but for all the times to come. His in-depth analysis of the characters was great. I will be presenting few characters that I found very relevant. Of course, many more characters are relevant. Because of the limitation of time, I have chosen few characters which I find that we can discuss even today for their relevance. So, like the yes, one character that comes to my mind is Hamlet. Is most quoted, most famous. In fact, many times it so happens that people may be speaking in different languages, but they often quote Hamlet. They quote in Parliament, they quote in United Nations Assembly, they quote in the academia. Many places Hamlet is quoted. One of the most famous aspects of this play was soliloquy. Hamlet talking to himself. And that soliloquy is so engrossing that many times when you read that or when you hear it on the stage, you feel that as if it is you, it is myself. Because we all often talk to ourselves whenever we face some typical problems that we cannot discuss with anybody, but we have to solve ourselves. So, what was true during those times is true even today. And that soliloquy is a projection of canvas of deep human dilemma. There is a dilemma, and that dilemma is reflected by that famous quote, to be or not to be. So, whenever we face dilemma, we get into soliloquy, that we start talking ourselves. And it seems most of the intelligent people indulge in self-talk. It helps in problem solving because you are your best friend. Of course, you have to become. So it seems that by projecting Hamlet in a self-talk, in a soliloquy, Shakespeare is giving us a direction what to do when you face a problem that nobody else but you yourself have to solve. As I said, to be or not to be is the most famous quote used in the world, and it is a reflection of reality in those times, is a reflection of reality today. Many times, big political leaders, the leaders of the nation, presidents, prime ministers, defense ministers, they are confronted with this situation, to be or not to be. And when in that particular soliloquy, when you look at it, Hamlet is talking of political corruption, which was true that time, which is true today, marital fidelity. He's talking about family. One is wondered how many aspects of social life Shakespeare has put in one single happening of the drama. Revenge motives, and surprisingly, even at that time, religion was a very important subject to be discussed by people, by families, by political leaders, by political class. So all these issues were discussed, which Hamlet is discussing with himself. He's trying to understand what is happening and where he is. And in that situation, to be or not to be is the question confronting himself. Sorry, I have to go back. Yes. So when you look at these issues, one wonders if Shakespeare wrote it for our time. It's not our time. He had written it for every time. Because as long as the society lives, political corruption will be there. Because politics rules us. Marital fidelity, infidelity, family relationship, revenge motives, all will be there. And religion has been discussed, will be discussed. It is being discussed even today. So Shakespeare wrote it for those times, but then it seems that Shakespeare wrote it for our time. That is a mark of a genius, that his classic becomes relevant for all the times. The second character that I would like to discuss is King Lear. In fact, King Lear is again much discussed, and this is one drama which is very much reflective of our life. What we face, the kind of mistakes, the kind of happenings after mistakes, and the sense of being lost King Lear's main protagonist is Lear, who's actually king. And the whole discourse is on authority and responsibility. These are the two words that they go together, side by side. If you want authority, you have to accept responsibility. You cannot have authority and no responsibility. And without authority, if you want to accept responsibility, then it will be a half-hearted effort. And here I don't mean authority only in the political sense. Authority anywhere. Authority at home as parents, authority as teachers in the school, authority as a policeman in the police station, authority as a member of parliament or assembly to make laws for the country. But all these authorities come with responsibilities. And that is what Shakespeare is telling us through this famous drama, King Lear. And in that, Shakespeare has tried in a best way to explain the difference between generosity and abdication. Generosity is good, but what about abdication? Being generous for a king, for a general, for a teacher, for parents is very good. But it becomes bad. The generosity loses its meaning and value when we abdicate our responsibility. We abdicate our authority. We abdicate our sense of decision making. And that mistake was committed by King Lear. I will not discuss the play, but out of a blind love, a love which did not have any reason and logic. Here Shakespeare is trying to tell us, you be in love with your children or you are loved by once, fine. Without love, a family is not complete. Without love, society is not complete. Without friendship, the social relationships are not complete. So you have to be generous there, but even while maintaining all these relationships, please don't abdicate your sense of responsibility, your sense of decision making. That is very well explained in King Lear while distribution of his wealth. The way he distributes and getting lost by false praise by his two elder daughters and not trying to understand the real love shown by the third daughter. So again, we are being taught by King Lear that keep your eyes open when you are generous. Don't abdicate the responsibilities. There is a famous quote in that play, nothing will come of nothing. In fact, I am surprised that almost about 700 years after King Lear, Karl Marx said, nothing can be produced out of a vacuum. So, and Shakespeare is just telling, in those times, nothing will come of nothing simply means miracles will not happen. Your actions will determine the reaction. What you do today will decide what will happen tomorrow. So when you take actions, be careful that to take actions very well realizing that these actions will create some kind of reaction tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or after some time. And the action of King Lear being blind in giving the wealth to the two elderly daughters who have shown false love reacted in the way that King Lear was on the street. He had also almost become mad because he had nothing to live with. So this famous quote, nothing will come of nothing, has to be remembered by us. And we should also know that miracles don't happen on this earth. Miracles don't happen in the world. Whatever happens is a matter of our commitments, matter of our actions. This play teaches us many things and has several lessons for human beings. So many things it teaches, as I quoted. So in a drama, in a single play, Shakespeare takes care of the entire canvas of human society. He has not left anything out. So just understanding one play, in fact, it's just not entertainment, it is a big education to the society. And I salute this great writer that in those times he taught the society without being giving a sermon, because sermons are not liked, but a play is liked, a song is liked. And in through those plays and songs, when people get some knowledge, it keeps in mind for a long time. King Lear, as I said, it is a story of two naked men, king and the beggar. Again, a very, very big lesson. A king is not a king just because he's a king. No. A king is a king because he has an authority. So Shakespeare is indicating a king must properly use and deliver his authority in a way that it serves the society and keeps the kingdom, the society intact. So while depicting two naked men, a king and the beggar, Shakespeare is giving a very clear indication. Without clothes, a king is a naked man. Without clothes, a beggar is a naked man. And anybody who sees these two naked men will not be able to differentiate who is the king and who is the beggar, because both of them are in a similar situation. The king without his authority is not a king. He's almost like anybody else. In this case, Shakespeare has compared himself with beggar. So it means a person who is at a responsible post, if he doesn't realize his own responsibility and doesn't deliver with kind of authority, then he loses to be that person of authority. It is true for a vice chancellor, it is true for a teacher, it is true for a principal, and it is true for a student, as much as it is true for a politician. If these people don't deliver, people will not respect for them for what they are. So your respect comes from what you do, not just what you are. There are a number of examples in our country. These things are happening when people abdicate the responsibility but don't keep away from the post. They want to stick with the post but don't deliver the responsibility. So King Lear is a play which explains us our responsibilities. These lessons, as I said, what Shakespeare tried to portray are true and valid. They are true, even if they are from a play, but the true responsibilities. And they are valid today as they were 400 years ago. 400 years means more than that, are valid. So the relevance of the lessons are alive in today. There is a famous drama. Some of our Marathi speaking people must have seen, Nat Samrat. It was first acted by Dr. Sriram Laghu, and recently there was a movie in Marathi, Nat Samrat, by Nana Patekar. Even there, the main protagonist, either Dr. Sriram Laghu or Nana Patekar, they abdicate the responsibility as a responsible parent. That the father gives away all the wealth to his children, and he's literally thrown on the street. In fact, the mother dies on the street. So King Lear, from King Lear to Nata Samrat, you find a continuity of what Shakespeare has taught us. The second, a third important character that attracts my attention is Othello. The most important reflection of Othello is Shakespeare's keen observation of human behavior. Surprisingly, after Shakespeare wrote Othello, 400 years later, that writing, psychopaths became the subject of scientific study. It means even when the scientists, doctors, intelligentsia was not studying psychology that seriously, Shakespeare could understand human behavior. He was observing human behavior, and Shakespeare somewhere understood an aspect like a psychopath. And Shakespeare gave his verdict in the drama Othello. And we have Iago. Surprisingly, friends, we have many Iagos around us. We don't have to go back in time to Shakespeare's time. Of course, when we read Iago, we understand. But today, when we see around us, there are many, many Iagos around us. We must be very careful. Highly intelligent, expert in manipulation, unfeeling, cunning, and reckless. I'm surprised. In one character, Iago, Shakespeare has fitted all these attributions, all these behavioral patterns in the human beings. Some of people around us are very intelligent, but there are many manipulative. Some of them are intelligent and reckless. And many of us, many are remorseless. So is there not a message by Shakespeare which is even relevant in 2024, that if you are intelligent and manipulative, your intelligence is meaningless. In fact, it is dangerous. If you are intelligent and remorseless, then you are inhuman. An intelligent person and cunning is ultimately recognized and punished. Look at many of our politicians who think that they are manipulative, they'll come to the power by hook and crook, but ultimately the people disown them. They are thrown into the dustbin of history. Right from Hitler to many people after that, this has happened. So we salute Shakespeare, who has written almost 700 years back that be careful of such people. And in that, there is a quote which I would like to tell this to the students. Pleasure and action make the hours seem short. What a wonderful way to explain that if you want happiness in life, there are two ways to get happiness. One is pleasure, and second is action. That makes the hours seem short. The best way to spend time, the best way to overcome boredom, the best way to be happy in life. Pleasure, of course, is there, but remember, pleasure cannot be very long. A football match will be over in 1.5 hours. It cannot go all through the day. A cricket match, 20 overs, will be few hours. Of course, nowadays we are not that interested in seeing the 5-day test matches. So a pleasure will be 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. A cinema, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So pleasure is like that. But when you indulge in action, the life becomes active, and life becomes a matter of happiness. That is what Shakespeare, through Othello, is trying to tell us. So friends, take this lesson. Be active in your life. Indulge in action, and we don't have to worry about boredom. And when we read Othello, at the end of the drama, we are told, "Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster." Jealousy. It helps none. It helps no issue. It takes you nowhere. It is the green-eyed monster. And we all know, when somebody is jealous, when I'm jealous, somebody is jealous, the jealousy sits in my heart. It means when I keep jealousy in my heart, I'm keeping a green-eyed monster. I'm surprised. Such a long time back, Shakespeare was telling the people, keep away jealousy, because it is a green-eyed monster sitting in your heart, and it will destroy yourself first before you are able to destroy others. Ultimately, jealousy is injurious to our own life. That is the message of Othello. And friends, as much as this statement, beware, my lord, of jealousy, it is a green-eyed monster, is relevant throughout the history. It is relevant even today. Jealousy helps none. This is one play which has been played very much, very popular, translated into many languages, played in different ways, played in different settings. Romeo and Juliet. It seems it is a play from eternity to eternity, because we all come through that passage of life when we are young. And youth, love and romance is a part of our life. So each one of us, in part, is a Romeo. Each one of us, in part, is a Juliet. But the most important lesson, most important message that comes out of Romeo and Juliet is the senselessness of family feuds. It is again surprising. What was true in 1600 is true in 2024. Many families meaninglessly keep fighting with each other just because of something wrong that has happened in history. The families forget that their existence in the present is being disturbed by what they have been thinking about the family feud in the history. So there is a message come out of that. And what a beautiful way Shakespeare has chosen to keep us away from family feuds. A love affair between two characters belonging to absolutely opposite families, the families that want to kill each other. There, Shakespeare creates two characters, Romeo here and a Romeo Juliet there, who fall in love with each other. This is a very important quote. Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast. Prior Lawrence, he's telling Romeo, and somewhere I feel that Shakespeare is telling it to every young boy who has fallen in love with a girl. What is that? Wisely and slow. Hindi cinema or English cinema, any cinema, they might be believing in love at first sight. But I think Shakespeare did not believe in that. He said wisely and slow. Be wise in love. Go slow. It's not that the moment you see a girl and you just take out your red flower and present it to her saying that I'm in love with you, and then you repent later on thinking that we were not made for each other. And there they stumble that run fast. People who run slow, they seldom fall. But the people who try to run very fast, they are the people who stumble. In love, anywhere else. So this is a very clear-cut message. And I'm surprised if there are young students on the net now, that be wise whenever you form relationship, when you fall in love. Wisdom calls us that listen to the elders, listen to your seniors, and finally listen to your heart, listen to your inner voice. Just go by the outer looks. That is a very important message sent by Shakespeare. And what a way to end the drama. As the two lovers die, the family feud ends. The families decide. Again, Shakespeare is harping on the maturity and sense of good decision of the families. And this is what he's calling upon. When the life of two is lost, save the lives of all others that are alive. So ultimately, by the sacrifice of two lovely lovers, Romeo and Juliet, the two families come together and decide to erect a monument for the two lovers. The family feud ends. So lovers might have died. Lovers die at the end of the play, but the love doesn't die. The love between the two families triumphs, and the two families decide to end their rivalry. Wonderful message by Shakespeare. One very important aspect of this play, Romeo and Juliet, is feminism. A 14, 15-year-old girl decides decisively which way to go. She is the power of a young girl to go against the tide. Some of you might say, okay, sir, at the age of 14, yeah, we are talking of 800 years back, not today. Today, a girl of 14 is considered a kid. But think about 1600. A girl of 14, the girls of 14, 15 were married. So at that age, the power of a young girl and her determination to go against the tide. It took a long time for feminism to arrive on the scene in this world, but Shakespeare understood it, that there will be a time when women, when girls, the better half of the society will rise up and demand their rights. And that is reflected in Romeo and Juliet. And remember, Juliet is remarkably like a 21st century Western woman. If you look at how feminism rose in the West, all the characters that drove the vehicle of feminism, they are all like Juliet. They are reflections of Juliet. So Juliet at that age was a powerful girl who fought against the wills of the society. Good or bad, I'm not saying, but the play explains clearly that even a girl can fight. A woman has a right and the power to fight. Friends, Shakespeare of all times, a quote, Lady Macbeth, what's done cannot be undone. Again, this is a quote for the all time to come. Ab pachtaye काय होत जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत. Now this is we heard in our childhood, almost in 21st century, 20th century. And what is written long back in Macbeth, what is done cannot be undone. It means be careful when you take any action, because that action cannot be undone. The impact of your action will remain. It's like the arrow left by the bow will not come back. It is gone. You cannot control. Similarly, a word spoken by you cannot be controlled. There is a famous quote, you are the master of the unspoken word. The spoken word is your master. So friends, when we speak, remember what is done cannot be undone, especially when we are speaking negatively about anything, about anyone, about any happening. Remember, what we will speak cannot be unspoken. This is a wisdom. This is the wisdom of Shakespeare for all the times. Shakespeare for all time another. I would like to end my lecture here. All that glitters is not gold. From Merchant of Venice. I'm not going into the details of the play, but I find that this quote in Shakespeare, it doesn't matter for whom it is spoken, it doesn't matter who is speaking, it doesn't matter what is the background of this quote in the play. What is important, that don't be distracted by something that is shining from outside. And we, many times in our personal life, in our family life, in our political life, in our love relationship, in our friendship, we are many times attracted falsely by the false gold, and we commit mistakes. To repent later on, and then we remember Lady Macbeth saying, what is done, it cannot be undone. So, while choosing your friends, choosing your career, buying things, establishing relationships, this quote has to remember, all that glitters is not gold. Let us go inside the mind, inside the heart. So, as we all know, that what the kind of woman shown on the screen in cinemas, the kind of men shown on the screen in the cinemas are not true men and women. They are not true. True men and women are in our lives. A lady should be like our mother. A gentleman should be like a father or a brother or a son. A lady is mother, daughter, sister. That is the true reality of our life. So, friend, Shakespeare's great gift to the world, all that glitters is not gold. Be careful in what you choose. So, thank you very much. That is what I wanted to say about relevance of Shakespeare's characters and his message of the plays for all of us. Thank you very much. Here I will end the presentation. Hello. Yes, sir. If you have any questions. Yes, please. Sanchita Malik.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, very well.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful discussion and rereading of Shakespeare's relevance in our world. And it's very difficult to put a question on Shakespeare's relevance. Shakespeare is everywhere. The characters, the dialogues, and many a times we use it without even knowing that, okay, it's also from Shakespeare. I have just one observation actually, if you can shed some light on that, and that on the endings, the denouement of most of Shakespeare's plays, which sometimes I feel that they are too much philosophical and melodramatic and not suited to our age, and even sometimes bordering on whether it's Macbeth or Hamlet or even Romeo and Juliet, whether spreading the message of love, if something happens like that, the families becomes more revengeful of each other. So sometimes I feel that that the endings of Shakespeare's plays, he becomes too much melodramatic and philosophical rather than being practical.
Yes, okay. It's a very good. Yeah, it's very good observation, very good question. Try to understand when a writer writes, even today, a good writer, whether it is Rabindranath Tagore or anybody, any good writer. In our English literature, so many writers we find. Sometimes we find that, like Kamala Das poetry, right? A Little Sunshine. See, try to understand, a writer is writing from his heart to others' heart. One heart is trying to communicate with another heart. Philosophy will be there. Try to understand. Knowledge without philosophy is not possible. All our knowledge comes from philosophy. Our effort to understand the world, our effort to understand life, our effort to understand ourselves. So philosophy will be there. So don't get swayed by there is too much of philosophy. It will be there. Now, how much to take, what you take. Try to understand when Shakespeare is writing or any great writer is writing, he or she is not writing for a particular audience, for a particular age group, or for a particular section of the society. A play has to be for the full range of the society, full age group, for everyone. So a writer takes care of a big canvas. And when such a thing happens, a particular section of the society might feel, oh, this is not for me. Or some else section may feel, I have nothing to do with this. It's not like that. We have to look at the play in the totality, one thing. Yes, many of the Shakespeare's, Shakespeare's plays were also called as tragedies. See, when you read a tragedy, so yeah, while reading at the tragedy, and when we come to end, like Romeo and Juliet, both are dead. we feel bad. Such lovely lovers, such lovely kids, boy and girl, falling in love with each other in spite of all the odds, but they could not say. Remember, that play is located in a situation where both the families are in rivalry. So much so that they are killing each other's members, one another's members. They're killing. In that situation, without the sacrifice of the young lovers, do we expect that the two families would end their rivalry? This is what Shakespeare must have thought. And so Shakespeare became realistic. And having become realistic, he ended on a positive note. Try to understand. The ending of Romeo and Juliet is not the death of Romeo and Juliet. It is the end of the rivalry between the two families. So I look at that way, that Shakespeare's play gives a good message. That is how we have to look into it and try to understand the situation, the time period, all that. When you look at it, then you find the plays are giving a very positive and strong message to the society. I hope I'm clear.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes. There are many questions in the chat box, but because I was talking, I could not read them very properly. One question was there, why there are no good roles for females in Shakespeare. I don't agree with that. In many roles, females, women are in the lead role. But Shakespeare has portrayed them giving respect, justice to the contemporary times. That we must understand. Anybody else? If you ask a question, that I can answer that. Or should I go to the chat box to read?
Participants, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask, please. The forum is open for discussion. Any questions, please ask.
Chitrangada Saikya has put a question. Is there any horror element? Horror element means most of the time we have tragedies, difficult situations. When the difficulty increases beyond our perception, it becomes horror. Something which we cannot understand, which we cannot digest. We call that as horror. So we can say yes and we can say no to this question. Myth has asked a question, is there any trace of post-human existence in the plays of Shakespeare? I think you are referring to ghost in Hamlet. Try to understand the way you want to understand. It's a way of projecting questions. How can Hamlet's father talk to him? So Shakespeare has brought ghost in that. So it's again self-talk, trying to analyze, way of analysis. So I'll not make a definite statement in that, but yes, there is a reflection of that, of ghosts and post-human things in Shakespeare's plays. Okay. Vasni, madam, I think.
Yes, sir.
I don't
So
know.
I hope you have
So
satisfied
only
all the participants with the queries they had with your
no,
shared
when
acumen.
the students don't ask question, it may also mean that I've not
Yeah.
been able to deliver to them.
Yes, sir. So, dear students, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful, insightful presentation, which was truly up to the mark. I hope the participant would definitely benefit from today's presentation. As usual, you leave no stone unturned to showcase your creative acumen with your sprawling wisdom of knowledge in presenting Shakespearean contemporary relevance of Shakespearean themes and characters in true sense. So I extend my sincere thanks to the organizers and coordinators of the program for their constant support and motivation to conduct the mega event of Shakespeare Certificate course. I place on record to express my deep sense of gratitude to today's resource person, Dr. Yugal Railu sir, for his scholarly presentation. Thank you very much, sir. My earnest thanks to our dear participants for actively participating in this program. Tomorrow is the concluding day of Shakespeare Certificate course. We would join at the same time for the next upcoming insightful presentation by a very eminent resource person, Dr. Dinesh Nair, who would deliver his presentation on the topic Drama of Affliction, Illness and in Health in Shakespearean Plays. So, dear participants, meet you tomorrow. Till then, stay connected and goodbye. Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
very much, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Very much.
Thank you
Thank you, sir.
all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.